Hey guys, this is Kevin here with another video in the series of From Sports to Medicine, where I talk about things that I learned from my career as an athlete and apply them to medicine. So here we go. Today I'm going to be talking about the zone and the importance of proper rest. As medical students, it's really hard to rest. There's so many things we have to learn, all those pancakes we have to eat. Sometimes it feels like we're just sprinting all the time, and anytime you rest, it feels like you're wasting time. But I just want to assure you that it's really important to make yourself take that rest. And I'm gonna draw here from an experience from this book called The Art of Learning by this guy named Josh Waitzkin. And you might not know this guy's name, but his there was a movie made after him called Searching for Bobby Fischer, where he was a feature because he was the youngest chess grandmaster ever. And he actually ended up leaving the chess scene and starting Tai Chi. And he went to compete in Tai Chi. He started as a total beginner. He had burnt out of chess. He was just so tired of it. And he learned how to learn again as a beginner. And he actually ended up becoming the world champion in something called Tai Chi push hands, which is super fascinating, to rise to the peak in one discipline and then quit that discipline and then rise to the peak in another discipline that's totally unrelated. So, in his book, he talks about his experience as a competitor and what it really took to get to the top. And he talks about something called the flow state. You're probably familiar with it. You've probably heard of it, been in it, at some point in your life. And it's kind of like the way I envision it is Michael Jordan, like game six, game seven, last shot, the series, the championship is on the line. What kind of mentality do you have and how do you make sure you're totally on? And he talks about how he went to a performance lab and he tried to analyze his performance and figure out when he was in the zone. And let me just read a couple of quotes from his book, in his chapter Searching for the Zone. He says, looking back over my games, I saw that when I had been playing well, I had 2 to 10 minute crisp thinks. So that means he had more time thinking about his next move in chess and more time resting. When I was off my game, I would sometimes fall into a deep calculation that lasted over 20 minutes. And this long think often led to inaccuracy. He goes on to say, players who are able to relax in brief moments of inactivity are almost always the ones who end up coming through when the game is on the line. And then he kind of, I'm going to read a quote about how he applies this to his training. In your performance training, the first step to mastering the zone is to practice the ebb and flow of stress and recovery. All right, so what do we take from this? Basically, he figured out that in order to be on and be performing at his best level, it was really important to take that time to recover and gather his energy, right? And then he goes on to say, how do you apply this in your training? He says, when you're training, training for the big competition, like for us, it would be like step one, I guess. And when you're training, you want to make sure that you're practicing both those stressful phases where maybe you're hammering out, hundreds of Q-band questions and you're properly recovering. And in other parts of his book, he attributes it to the power of the subconscious, where your subconscious mind is working. Even though your conscious mind can't comprehend it, your subconscious mind is working too. And when you take a break, you allow your subconscious mind to take a break as well and to gather itself so that when you have to focus again, you can go at 100, 110%. So as a medical student, what does that mean for us, right? I think that means that we all have our own tempo, right? We all have our own, periodicity of when we have to take breaks, but it is important to take them. And it is important to figure out when you should take them. And when you're training for the big thing, for me, I'm in dedicated, I got to take step one in like 2 months or something like that. It's really important to say, okay, this is the time when I'm going to be super focused and figuring out how to solve these problems. And then when I take a break, I'm going to really, really take a break so that I can really get back to it when I need to. All right. So I hope that was helpful. Again, if you have any questions, leave it down in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. And I hope this was helpful. If you found it helpful, feel free to leave a comment and reach out to me. It really keeps me motivated. So, all right. Thanks for watching. And until next time, good luck with everything.